Oh, it's the last best of 3, guys. In the bottom left, you have the blue Protoss, Ryung. Shit, Goblin. Bottom, top right, it is Ryung. Wonderful start. What is the math, guys? What did we decide on? What's the scenario going on? Ryung advances on a win except if creator loses 1-2 to Cyril. Oh, okay. In which case he needs to win 2-0. Okay. Is there a world where Cyril and Ryung get through? Or is it creator and Ryung that would get through? You know what? Never mind. Don't answer that. I don't care. Never mind. Stop. Point is, Ryung needs to win this, as well as hope for another result. We're in the middle on the left and the right? There have been, yeah. Where the base was here. It was 230-ish. So we did say left side and right side. You expect Goblin will win? Really? You sure about that? I mean, not that Goblin can't win. It's not impossible. It's not likely, though. Goblin's not having a particularly good day, sitting 1-5. And Ryung has been having a fairly good day against Protoss, specifically. Nope, nothing special to talk about yet. Oh, if he lost 3 probes, might as well have GG'd right then and there. That would have been horrible. A good save on the probes from Goblin. Only loses the one that was a scouting probe anyways. And we have Ryung going into a 2-1 setup. He might go for a tank push across the map. Only because I've seen him do it. Otherwise I wouldn't have said it. Well, I did start off with a medevac drop though, didn't it? Now, nah, he's not gonna go for a push. Just gonna lead up into a macro game. Of course it is. My food is here. Stupid announcement coming out when it did. Oh, Goblin's gonna go to Phoenix Charge. That's explosive. I hate eating under like pressure or stress or under a time limit, so no, I'm not gonna eat. Phoenix Charge. Goblin's gonna be aggressive anyways soon enough. The delivery person can cast while I eat. Just turn on text-to-speech. That could definitely not go wrong. Currently, I do have the camera following anything that is important. So. Putting bare minimum effort in here. Whee! Phoenix. So Ryung knows that it's Phoenix, actual Phoenix, just 1 second here. I was gonna figure out if it is gonna go into charge or into Colossus.
This better be good.
Ryung has done nothing to go for any scouting since he went for a 2-1. Nice defense setup, but not much as far as scouting or harassment goes. It's lost. Nothing's happened in this game so far. It's absolutely critical that we see APM right now. Good. So I'm gonna leave it on. I think I had a recall. I don't know what he would have recalled though. So it must not have been a recall. No, it wasn't. I'm just crazy. Look at old man Ryung. Can't even out APM Goblin. A Protoss player. Ugh. Ah. Alright. Going up to 10 Phoenix at this point? Damn, Goblin. Going into quite a few. Running a little over some Marines, though. It's going to be a second Phoenix loss of the game. Everyone must be very careful about engaging. That's going to be a fine number of Zealots there. You must know that this is a potential problem. He scans, does not see the army, has no idea where it is or what it actually consists of. This could be bad. Widow Mines won't play a part. The Phoenix insta-lift them. And it looks like with the attempt to snipe down a couple of the Phoenix while he can, one of them goes down. Ryung is quite desperate to get the heck out of there with as much as possible, which he will just barely be able to do. Hole up in his main base, hole up in the natural. Little Sim City will help a tremendous amount of what Goblin has. And also the fact that Goblin still has no Warp Prism or Proxy Gateway. So even if he did have a lot of momentum, I don't know. Without the reinforcements, might have been difficult to achieve. I want to see a tournament where they just have microtransactions, the co-op mutation, on the players. So if they make a move, if they move something or build something or upgrade something, wait, no, not upgrade. I think it's move and build. Yeah, that sounds right. Then they have to give a portion of their money away. Alright, 3-base setup for Ryung. That was the scariest moment of the game, was him running backwards away from the Zealot Phoenix. If he had not been able to successfully escape, then he has Zealots in his natural and main right as we speak. But he did manage to run away, so he is going to be okay. But now a Widow Mine field down as well. And upgrades continuing along with Ghosts being added in. He is now very much effectively countering Goblin's army. The Goblin has added on his own Double Forge and is actually adding on an air upgrade as well. And going into robotic space, so he is transitioning. Adding, really. It's a mutation that charges money to make commands, I think. Well, we're talking about the same one. It's called microtransactions. But I think if you click on something or like box select stuff, like it doesn't cost you money. Pretty sure it's only when you build something or move. Ah. Long still in the game, he's fine. I really like he's playing. I mean, he's playing pretty much hard for the course. Most importantly, he saved his army. And he certainly doesn't want tanks. F2A moved the cheapest. Ah, but it also depends on what type of units, because it takes a portion of the cost of the unit, I believe. So Ryung has to play the slow and steady game. It's just such a difficult task trying to run into someone going charge lot Phoenix. So macro it is. There won't really be many things on his side the way the game has gone. He will be fine enough against Goblin. But he really won't be getting to, like, much faster upgrades with +2 finishing up. Okay, right now he has faster upgrades, but that'll quickly change with double chrono, double forge. And he's not on a truly superior economy. I think he might have spiked, yeah, a couple of times. Hello, Nathaniel. Save me. I'm so tired. I'm so hungry. (3-2) starts up at least immediately for Ryung, but is there really beating out the Protoss and their Chronos? Ooh! Good catch on the Phoenix. How many have died now? 7 in total. That's something. And Fleet Beacon is now on the way. It's, you know, 5 bases for the Protoss. They've pretty much completed their army. They successfully completed levels 1 through 10. Now on to 10 through 20. Ah, 4 Colossus, damn. Alright, Ryung knows the army's there. He's gonna try and set up a concave, try and get an EMP before it even begins. If he doesn't set up a surround, I'm really afraid for his chances right now, but the EMP plus the Widow Mines take down, about half of the Zealot army right off the bats, and without that buffer, the Marauders will be able to jump on top of the Colossus. The Phoenix can't really help out. They've been EMP, they have no shields, they have no lifts. And Goblin did, in fact, overstay his welcome. Loses a Colossus. Will save a lot on the retreat. Could have been worse. But that was a quick slapback. Ryung, of course, saved the 4th base. Starts up his own 5th. And is now looking for a counterattack. Scans the 5th of his opponent and sees that it's on the way. And now we'll scan, there you go, on the 4th base, of which he is now looking to attack. Goblin realizes that he has not replaced enough of his army. He doesn't have enough disruptors, so he tries to add on some static defense, but it's not ready to go. But disruptors are going to be sent out, and an okay shot to begin with. Second shot is also going to at least buy some time, get some of those Widow Mines, and maybe if Goblin can pull back. Where is his army, actually? No, this is a pitiful army right now. No, I don't think he can. Yeah, the Phoenix can't really be included. So he really had a very, very poor army. And Ryung, that's all you gotta do, man. He is like a Venus flytrap in Terran versus Protoss. He just waits for you to land on his nice little petals there, and then butcha! Chomps Yanya. Nyan nyan. Maybe if he loses all of his army to the disruptors, that's possibly what we're waiting on. But a good divvying of the units. Marauders go after the disruptors, and the Marines take care of the interceptors as well as the carriers. GG. GG, GG, GG. Logger, please. Please. Calm down. Chillax, man. They are dope, thank you. In game we go. Game number 2, Tropical Sacrifice. Bottom left, it is Goblin. Top right, it is Ryung. There is a weird amount of Rainer hate that comes to this chat. I mean, not really all that much, but it's like that joke where it's like, if I, wait, what is the joke? If I got a nickel for every person that comes in my chat that say they find Rainer annoying, I'd have 2 nickels, which is not a lot, but it's weird it happened twice. Is that really hate? I mean, hating on can be any degree of negativity. All right, just want to be clear about the English connotation for that context. But it is certainly negative, and again, just a drive-by. I mean, doesn't matter who it is or what they might invite. You say anything about anyone, you're like, oh, this person was blah, so I came over here. I'm going to be like, no, I don't want that. For all the gentlemen present? What is... I can't tell if that was intentional and you're telling me to stay in my fucking place, or if it's unintentional and just a little bit, you know, sexist when there's literally a woman commentating StarCraft on the channel you were watching. Which one do you want to be right now? Poor guy's like, I don't know, man. I didn't really think it through. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it was that bad. And I'm like, no option number 3. Also, I guess the classic Twitch thing, that's a little bit of a no-no. I think on tournament streams it's different, but generally in Twitch streams it's kind of a no-no to be like, hey, there's something else entertaining happening over here, go over here. I think for a tournament stream, you know, it's a bit different, but, yeah. Couple of layers, a bad thing. Thanks, Cal. Hand grenades into the chat? Oh, more like boredom. Although, to be fair, in this game, you do have a bunker adding some damage, so it's a bit different than the last 6 TvPs. Just one Reaper, though? Just one Reaper. So really one of the least complicated bunker in the natural situations we've seen the last 2 days. A Depth and a Stalker, and then a Shield Battery, you know, no Reaper, or double Reaper, or even triple Reaper I think we got once. Interrupting that flow. And Goblin has gone into an Oracle. Shouldn't have a way with words, Athanius. We had some mining time. You know, Shield Battery comes in sooner. Might have also delayed some part of the build. It's true. But, you know, building a bunker also interrupts a little bit. Although I think he got the salvage off, didn't he? Yeah. New base set up for Goblin with that Stargate opener, but it was just the one Oracle, so I was going to talk about Phoenix Charge once again, which it actually did a fairly good job, all things considered, last game. It was just another typical Ryung game, where it seems like either he's okay or even good. Maybe a little behind, but not very much. Like any of those situations, doesn't matter which one, Ryung is really just waiting for the trap. The one awesome engagement that wins in the game, almost entirely off that single engagement. Don't know much about Denver. Their airport is cold. Is it? I haven't really noticed. So then Goblin doesn't go for Phoenix Charge. He instead goes for the faster blink. All right. Just single forge upgrade. 3 gases so far. Adding on charge afterwards. Those are the 2 oracles anyways. He's going for push. This is interesting. I guess he's No. Okay. So he might be hoping that he entices Ryung to chase after him. And then stasis trap, force field, something, slice off a couple of units. Oh, it's a very odd army to be out in the middle of the map like this right now. But it's what Goblin is doing. And that's because that it is potentially a vulnerable army. I mean, if Ryung came in from this side, I don't know, and Goblin wasn't paying attention, they'd be pretty screwed. But it's also going to be out of position for the 2 medevacs. So a recall is going to have to be used, which maybe isn't the biggest deal. Maybe he does it immediately, nothing happens, but certainly not as convenient as when the army is back at home, ready to defend. Double drop hits Goblin in a Nexus that doesn't even have a recall, so maybe natural recall? Warp Bands are not going to cut it, especially after his warp gates all got unpowered. Oh, I believe that's all of them, guys. Charge is going to be denied as well. Scan to the natural, because Ryung's probably like, what the hell is going on? Why is this so easy? It's because Goblin was planning some weird kind of trap of his own, but it absolutely did not work. He was just completely out of position. And maybe if all of his gateways were done and powered and he could use all of them, he would have had enough reinforcements back at home, but I would say even that's a question mark. Looks like Ryung wanted to take advantage of that and try and rush forward in the middle of the map, but the stasis trap at least did its job eventually. Ryung is going up to 3 bases right here and now. Ghost Academy's on the way, as well as his armory, since his upgrades are close to getting to that +2. So Goblin is just behind upgrades. And Goblin, how much did he lose at the end of that? Because there ended up being a trade. Ryung did not manage to escape with everything. So 6 probes, 4 zealots, a Twilight Council. That looked actually way worse than it was. What does Goblins look like? Army look like? Ugh, I'm tired. What does his army look like? It is just the gateway, but fully stocked sentries, a shield battery, and Immortal finally pops out as well. Detection from the Oracle on top of those Wood Mines is going to help out very much as well. But Ryung's in a decent position. Very good army with double upgrades. Wood Mines still active, even though they're being scouted, and 2 of them pop off. Pop the Immortal Shield, help kill a lot of these units. Guardian Shield now killed as well. And Ryung might be able to push here. Continue pushing. He thinks so. He's going to F2 all of his units. Maybe not actually F2, but still. And try and continue pushing this particular point. But yeah, he could even go a bit faster. There's no more force fields to worry about, so he may be able to force his way up the ramp or actually just go after the 3rd base. Stasis Trap does take 2 Wood Mines out of the equation, so that's better than nothing. But I think this actually is going to be a worse spot to attack into, isn't it? Concave ramp? But you know what? There are no shield batteries here. There are no shield batteries. Something that would have maybe saved Goblin's life. They got Ryung microing his heart outs, pulling away some of the weaker units, letting the medevacs actually get their time to heal. But the shield batteries, too, actually finally finish. And with the threats of more reinforcements, potentially a 2nd Colossus, Ryung is not going to continue pushing. And Goblin withholding, now going to go up to a 5th base. He's on 80 workers. Adding in some double upgrades now. And he is going to be down 30-40 army supply. Wouldn't mind drop in both main and natural. Looks like it didn't get too much, just one probe. I was hoping to find the army perhaps in transit or simply just not there. Scans the army perfectly. I feel like Ryung's Widow Mines in the middle of the map have been so effective. Like, I've never seen them being so effective. It's an excellent idea. Widow Mines to scout, Widow Mines to be a bother, time it out with the armory finishing, boom. Okay, that also awesome. But his always seem to survive way too long and get way too many shots or way too many like good shots. Perhaps today the other Protoss players just weren't as, I don't know, quick to detection or as accurate with their disruptor shots. That's what it means for you, a fun and interactive unit. I mean, literally, my whole speech was about how Ryung is an outlier amongst any other Terran, so... Anyways, Ryung moving down south now has another opportunity to get that concave. EMP's taking out most of the Stalker health. The Colossus remain healthy. Also got 4 disruptors in there, so this is going to be a tough break. It's only a 16 army supply difference. 7 Vikings. Might have been, oh my god, that came in awfully close to killing Goblin's own army. For the love of God. It's probably going to be enough to take out the 3 Colossus, but the disruptors, that is what's going to be really difficult to actually push through here. 3 Colossus, make that 1 Colossus, and almost dead, but most importantly, not dead. He's not dead, and with the reinforcements, Goblin is now taking a supply lead. And actually, Ryung is on the ropes. Overstaying his welcome, thinking that he had an opportune moment to dive in. I don't know if he ever did. Goblin is not fully committing to this. His disruptors, oh, took a weird path. Okay, that's what happened. I thought he left his disruptors at home, which would have been a weird choice either way. But... oh, they took a weird AI. Half left, half right. Ryung's timing to move over to Liberators is very good here defensively. I can't say it couldn't be better because it probably could. He could have waited even longer to attack in there and thus retreat from there. And in that time, he might have had Liberators on the front abusing that choke. But he tried to do it when he did. And now it's Liberators saving his bacon while he defends. That and the high ground defense structure of Tropical Sacrifice. Triple medevac drop, managing to weave through all of the spotting units of Goblin. That's unfortunate for the guy. He's trying to move around Ryung's defenses, thinking that mostly home is on lockdown, but it is not true. Stack defense isn't done. Not enough room in the supply to warp in a bunch of units, so a recall has to be what's used. And usually, Ryung is quite good about keeping a ghost with these types of split armies, but not this time. Oh, bye, Oracle. Ryung taking... I feel like kind of a scary 5th base to take. If he had not just lost a large chunk of his army, maybe it's not that scary. But yeah, try and take the 5th to the bottom right. And then misclicking, or he lost track of the army maybe, so he doesn't want to accidentally get it killed. That's a good pullback, actually. And now he scans and sees that it is a base forming. He would love to kill it. He's gonna miss that there's an army there. Okay, he scans that. Not a particularly big army, I suppose, but still helped out by the cannons and shield battery. And the rest of Ryung's army is now here. Upgrades currently favoring Goblin. Oh, now it is evened up. But I was going to say what might be even more important, though, with the Liberators actually having that +2 ship weapons. Now tied up in a choke. It's going to be very difficult for Goblin to push this back. He does have 3 Tempest. And there's not enough Vikings to stop that, but at the very least, able to pull back, because the Tempests don't actually kill very much quickly at the numbers they are at. But Ryung was, I think, really not expecting the Tempest. I'm not sure if he scanned it while it was on the way over, but he needs to get back into the Viking production. Does have 2 starports by looks of things. There they are. Yeah, 2 starports. And moving on to +3 ship weapons as well. Those Liberators will no longer be able to seal his defense. And currently they are kind of pointed the wrong direction. Whoops-a-daisy. And Goblin, oh, might be making this a bit sketch, oh, as far as the series score. A lot of Disruptors still available. No way the Liberators get on top because the Vikings aren't here to actually kill the amount of Tempests that there are. Covered by the Stalkers as they are. That looks like a dead base to me as well. Ryung needs a better engagement path. He needs a stronger Viking count as well. There's actually only 3. So no wonder he kept on pulling back. Ryung has taken the supply lead again, just because Goblin is trying to fill it out. Oh, with 9 DTs. There you go. 9 DTs warped in on his 5th or whatever this is, so it's about to hit Ryung's top 12 o'clock base, which Ryung is not prepared for. He does not have the defenses. Trying to get a concave. This is actually looking really nice. Might be intercept some of the Tempest as well. Nicely done, nicely done. Good pullback from Goblin though too. He was pretty quick to realizing how bad a surround could be for him, so he pulls back, but Ryung's surround now turns into an opportunity to run by. Yet again, Goblin without very much supply left. Can't really warp in a whole lot. The EMP does come around this time, though. That's what was missing last time, right? So no recall available. Goblin just trying to run back home currently, which means he's probably going to lose the Nexus. Is Ryung going to die for it? No, he actually tries to last-second escape, but it's, you know, very, very last second. A lot of these units will go down. Ryung's going to try and go for an engagement on the south side as well. He does not get the recall, so that is still Goblin's defense to be made. There's no way that he loses that. But even without the recall, Ryung couldn't crack it. Four Vikings, that's it. Ryung's army gonna have a hard time collapsing in on Goblins, but here we go again. Round number 2, Planetary Falls, but here comes the big surround. So far, the Disruptors not getting the shots that they would desire, and in full retreat, the Tempest and Stalkers aren't protecting themselves from the Vikings. Everything is gonna go down. The Venus flytrap that is Ryung snaps down and might have just killed Goblin. Now, Goblin did have a humongous bank, was able to kill both the 5th and the 4th in one fell swoop while having a ton of stack defense at home, so maybe not. Maybe Ryung is not going to win right then and there, but already dodged the Disruptor shot, going to be able to power his way through, and I think Goblin would have been better off just abandoning ship. As long as he saves the units, then more power to him, but yeah, warping in the Stalkers was maybe a little sketch. He will be able to save them, pull back once more, because that's what he's got to do. He's got to pull back once or twice more, and he still has a decent chance to recover. Ryung is on a very bad economy. It's only because he had a spike of good economy and bank that he was able to build a couple of extra command centers. That's why he has a 4th. And now he's moving over his natural orbital to the top left. So he's certainly not rich. Goblin is a little less rich after spending his bank, losing a base and a handful of probes. But he has rebuilt another very good tech late game army. Just needs to fill it out a bit more with the supply. Planetary gets up and running and properly protected. Very nice. And now this 5th base will be where Ryung chooses to attack off from. So that it's a little bit of an attack and defense situation, but Goblin did not take the very top left base. Ryung might have thought that he did, just with how chaotic the game got for a second there. After being passive for so long, I guess, most importantly. But nope, no cheeky base. Ryung's gonna make sure it doesn't come down too, and that one also checked out. So Ryung is now back up to 5 bases, kind of, but, you know, 3 orbitals, importantly. And 50 workers, that's something. He's using a lot of scans to figure out how to take this engagement, though, so I don't really know how much he is muling. But Goblin is starting to run out of minerals by the looks of things, as they both remain under 2,000 on those numbers. But now we got some weird situation where Ryung, misrallying a little bit, really wants to beat Goblin to the punch. Once again, top of this base, goes for the throat as well. Got an EMP on some of the disruptors, but wasn't close enough to actually focus fire them down, and that was a successful little run by. That's the only thing I can call it. It just literally ran by the army. Probes and Nexus fall again. Planetary this time properly protected. Does not die to the squad of DTs. They get recalled back home in case they are necessary or in case they're chased down. Either way. And both of them have to be scared of pushing into each other currently. They both have their almost ideal armies. So maybe Ryung would want some more Vikings. And I think Goblin doesn't want to kill his own DTs. What happened? Maybe? Big surround! It happened again! Ryung is so good at setting up those surrounds. Holy shit! EMPs aplenty coming down as well. And once again, we have to ask, does Goblin have enough to defend? Did he take too bad of an engagement? Shield battery and cannon certainly helping out right now. One Colossus still barely alive. 2 Tempest still getting some shots off. But Ryung, with barely enough, might actually be finalizing this series. Continuing to rally whatever we can to the front lines, but a couple of disruptor shots can make a huge difference. And already just the number of disruptors, whether or not they got a good number of enemies with their shot, has actually become too much for Ryung to handle. He's forced to pull back, save the ghost while he can. And Goblin will hold on yet again. One more day. The slippiest little bee that's ever existed. Or what? Do Venus flytraps eat bees? Fly. Slippery little fly. Even just a couple of DTs going to always bother this base. Maybe more than a couple now, because I think of the missile turret, but still. And Ryung's income did dip quite hard at that time. It shouldn't be too bad now that everyone's back to being saturated, and Ryung even found the change to go for another whole entire base. So unless Goblin wins this series, it's going to be Ryung and Cyril making their way through. See what happens. More than just a couple of DTs, more than just a handful of zealots. Half of Goblin's army, no, really all of his army, goes to the north. Ryung was not expecting that. Will be losing the orbital because of it, but is able to pull back this fresh base. Might even be able to turtle up and bring his other orbital home. It's exactly what he should do, because we also do want to track the orbitals. How many scans does Ryung have in case of base trade, you know? Finds a DT. I thought that was well hidden, but no, apparently not. Ryung does still have a 20 army supply lead-ish. So Goblin's not going to be looking for a fight. Does the economic damage and pulls back. Things are still really tight. Both of them are just legitimately running out of minerals to mine. So Goblin's income just fell off a cliff. Feels like I just mentioned it. And at that time, he was at 14 to 16,000. 100, sorry, 100. Now he's dipped down pretty hard. Ryung gets his fresh base up to the bottom right, so that's going to turn into a planetary. Very nice defensive situation. And he did save his second orbital. It was never truly in any threat. So still 2 orbitals worth of scans, or mules. Certainly been using more scans. Goblin expanding towards his opponents. So his opponent's going to have that planetary to fall back in case of a real epic tug of war. Probably not what he actually wants to do. Does get to cancel. Of course, Orions will happen, yeah. Ryung does seem to be pushing ahead. With an entire base actually mining, his income is now double that of Goblin's. He's also setting up, again, one heck of a surrounds. Oh my gosh, he wasn't paying attention. He clearly wasn't paying attention, but good thing that Disruptor didn't get that close. Goblin pulls back to a bit of the high ground, so surround's not going to be in play. Viking numbers, not exactly where I think you'd want them to be. 9 Vikings to 5 Tempests. And now it is Goblin, who's managing to get a little ahead. Nope, gets a little behind in the army supply. Still behind in the economy for sure. He's long distance mining from so many bases. I feel like this is just a game of Goblin trying to do damage to Planetary versus avoiding being hugely surrounded by Ryung. And he is managing to pull away just in the nick of time. He had set up actually his own little backstab. I don't know if that was on purpose or an accident, but it does go the way of Ryung once again. Despite some potentially cleverly placed disruptors and an attempt to stop the overflow of bio units, it is not going to be enough. None of the disruptors hitting all that well. Vikings landing to help out too. Do get hit by one of the disruptors, but how many more shots are there? That might have been the last one for at least a couple more seconds, and that is actually it. Ryung, 28 minutes later, takes the 2-0. It will be Cyril and Ryung moving on.